Hey everybody, welcome to Keeping Track. I'm Go Veer Go Home. Today on Keeping Track, we're gonna bring some light into your life and show you how to detail your layout using Just Plug from Woodland Scenics. We're gonna go rail fanning in some cold weather, and we're gonna do a review and an unboxing on the new Rapido oh so noisy steam generator car. All that and more on Keeping Track. Support provided by Grand Central Scenery. For the very best in realistic trees, check out Grand Central Scenery online at grandcentralscenery.com or place your order by phone just by calling 801-891-7255. Since 1995, Grand Central Scenery has been the leader in fine handcrafted scenery and accessories. Additional support provided by Mini Prints. Visit miniprints.ca and check out all the 3D printed super detailing parts they offer. They're the resin your layouts look super detailed. That's miniprints.ca. Today, we're actually going to work on the paper mill a little bit more. This time, we're going to focus on lighting. I plan to light up the entire industry, but I'm going to start with the backdrop buildings first. I've got a number of products here from Woodland Scenics, and I'm going to take you through each one. We're going to see what they do and how you use them, and what you might need if you're going to be lighting up your industry as well. Let's take a look at the products that I'll be using today. All of these are from the Woodland Scenics Just Plug lighting system. Lights, hubs, street lights, lamps. Let's take a look. All right, let's start with the light and hub set. This one here comes with 2 LEDs as well as the hub, or you can just get it just as a hub without the LEDs. Let's open it up. In this set, you get 1 light hub, 2 LEDs, warm white, 1 double-sided sticky tape, and 2 screws. With the light hub, in the first port on the top here far left, it allows you to add a power cable directly to it. If you want to add it to an expansion pack, that's where you would plug in the cable. I'll show you that later. The second port where this plug is your control switch. If you want to just individually power these lights and be able to turn them off and on, you remove that plug and then you add the control switch, or you leave it in and they always stay lit. It gives you 4 ports to plug in LEDs, and there's 4 dimmer switches for each one. Included in your expansion hub set is 1 hub, 4 extension cables, a set of hardware for mounting, and a piece of double-sided sticky tape. Connecting the light hubs to the expansion hub is very straightforward. You locate the power in, and that's where you plug your main power cable. Power out is if you're connecting another expansion hub. Control is where you add your power switch for on and off. And the hubs, well, that's where you plug in 4 of the red hubs. Here's the off and on toggle switch. Included in the pack, you get 1 of these. You get 2 mounting screws and a double-sided sticky tape. There's a few different types of LEDs to get. There's the nano, which are very small, or the stick-on that you see here. There's also many different colors to choose from, like cool white, warm white, red, green, yellow, blue, and there's even flashing ones as well. The gooseneck lamps are really good for detail, but they're a little harder to use as the wiring is much smaller and you can add 2 lights to a hub system at one time. So it only takes up 1 space. These lampposts work the same as the gooseneck, where you take all 3 and you put all the wires into this little section, and it plugs only using 1 port on your actual hub. These ones actually come with an extension so that you can make them even taller, which is what I'm going to do, as I'm going to be using them for my yard. My recommendation for city lights and lampposts and gooseneck lamps, whenever you have the option, I strongly recommend to solder all your negatives together and solder all your positives together. Even adding it to a larger wire might also benefit you, because trying to put multiple wires into this and hoping that they stay does not always work, unfortunately. And when you put one in and you're trying to put another one in, they also pull out very easily. So it's not an ideal method for connecting, but if this is all you got, connect these or solder these to a larger gauge of wire and then connect that to here. So how many hubs do you need? Well, it's actually based off of how many lights do you need. If you look at your building and your setup and your surrounding area, and you figure out what lights you want to put into those buildings, it will easily determine how many hubs you need. For example, one expansion hub can carry 4 light hubs. 4 light hubs can carry 32 lights. However, you can always add an extension to your expansion hub, having 2 expansion hubs and 8 light hubs. It means you could have 64 LEDs, individual LEDs, connected to one power supply. Okay, so we're going to start with this backdrop building here. This section will require some green lights for each one of these bay doors for truckers so that they know that the dock is clear. I will also put a gooseneck lamp right over this door here. And we're going to box the inside of this section off and add a light in there to bring the inside of this building to life. Here you see me pre-drilling holes for all my LEDs. There's going to be a lamp that's going above this door, but I will still use the same drill bit for all the other holes where the LEDs are going to go through. I ended up coming back and drilling a little bit bigger of a hole because they were just still too small. After fishing the wire through, I used the smallest amount of Scenic cement just to fix it in place so it wouldn't move. I fixed the green LEDs just through the holes that I had pre-drilled. Then, on the inside of the structure, I used my hot glue gun just to fix them all in place. They're not going to move, they're not going to come out, and, well, basically they're there if I need them, and I can always remove the glue and remove the light down the road in case I change my mind. Okay, so taking a look, all the lights are installed for the doors and the overhead light. Next, what I wanted to do was create a shadow box to simulate an inside of the office area or the entranceway. This is going to get a separate light altogether, and I'm going to end up doing detailing on the inside there, but I just wanted to box in for now so that I can add a light and it'll just light up on the inside there. And I won't have to worry about any light bleed going out this way or anything. It'll just come out here. Next, I'm going to glue both of the light hubs on the inside of this building here, just using a bit of hot glue. There's 8 ports that are going to be available, and I do require 8 ports to light every light in this building here. So they'll fill up nicely, and I'll run a cable to the blue hub, giving it all power. Next, I plug all the lights in from left to right to keep it organized, and next I'm going to adjust the brightness. Each of these hubs will get a connection wire to the extension hub. They will be hidden behind the building, and they'll run down under the layout so it'll be hidden. Next up, we remove the dummy plug from the extension hub, and we'll be able to pop in the remote control to where the dummy plug was. Then we'll be able to add any regular hub wire, which there's a place for 4 here, but I'll only have 2 right now. And then I will be able to add the power in for this hub. And then we're going to test it. And with a flick of a switch, all the lights turn on. Now the green does seem very bright, so I'm going to use the adjustment knob in the back to dim them a little bit. With this specific building here, I've turned it into a backdrop building. I've already done basically the painting. I want to be able to light up all these windows here just to show that there is some sort of life in there. These ones here, this entire section here gets blocked off by the building in front of it, but I can still light these. Now, along with this little lamp here, I want to add a light for this section, a light for this section, and a light for this section, blocking off any other way that light can escape. So I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to start building little walls and section each of these places off. For this, I use foam core board and hot glue. I cut the strips into 1.5 inches deep, and I cut to various lengths just to fit them in appropriate spaces. I then use the warm white LED lights that came with the hubs, and I start posting them around in each of the blocks. Then I carefully attach the wires hidden so that you won't see them when you look through the actual windows when they're lit up. I do the same thing on the other side, just capping off this top section here, because that's going to be the only side that you see. Because each of these sections are really small, you only require 1 LED for each section. For larger sections, you might need about 2 or even 3, depending on the size you want to cover. And again, I'm able to hot glue one of these light hubs into the inside of this building here to keep all the wiring neat. There's enough LEDs in this building to fill up one hub, so it's not going to waste. After drilling a hole in the layout, right where the building sits, I was able to fit the power cable through that hole, and I'm going to be pulling it through so you won't even see it there. And then that way I can attach it to the rest of the power hub section underneath the layout. I'm also going to add lights to the yard. I've got a couple of poles that I'm going to be putting in between the tracks here just to light these 2 up. And then I'm also going to add another one back here. So this is what I'm referring to when I say to solder the wire from the lamp post or the small LEDs to an actual thicker gauge wire. Because you have to attach 3 of them into one port, they're very, very small and there's not much there. So I will connect it to a larger gauge, and then I will use shrink tubing to cover it up so there's no short. Okay, now that we're done wiring everything and everything is plugged in, everything's cleaned up, and some of the pieces have been put back to where they're going to be, let's fire up the lights and see how it looks. This is a Rapido Trains steam generator car. This Oh So Steamy came out over 10 years ago. But this past month, we got a brand new car. The Oh So Noisy. We're going to unbox it. We're going to compare the two. We're going to take a look and see all the features and how this actually works. When we open it up, we'll see this one has never been opened before. And it comes with a plastic insert opposed to the original, which was foam. It still comes with the exploded parts diagram, as most of their stuff does. It comes with a information packet all about the Oh So Noisy steam car. And the famous Rapido magic wand. As we open up the clamshell, we'll notice that there's a few more parts here. These, as they said, is a bit of an under frame detail that would break off easily. So they put that in separately so you can add that on yourself. It's wrapped in a soft plastic. There you go. So the origin of the steam car starts right around the time that locomotive companies started moving from steam locomotives to diesel. When steam locomotives would pull passenger cars, there was more than a sufficient amount of steam to heat the other cars. But then with diesels, unless it was equipped with a steam boiler, there wouldn't be that much steam to heat the passenger cars. Ergo, adding a steam generator car to produce the steam just to heat the cars. There was a few different road names to choose from. This one is a Via Rail, and it is a Canadian prototype which was made by GMD, which is General Motors Diesel Division. Check out that underbody detailing that Rapido is famous for. There's also separately applied grab irons, metal wheels, and metal couplers. When comparing the old run to the new run, you won't see a lot of differences. There's still a lot of great detail in both of them, so they probably use the same tooling. The coupler looks like it is updated to something newer that they use now. And the fact that they decided to go with just steam sound as opposed to it making actual smoke, like this Ontario Northland one here, it might be the biggest difference overall. Now, this is where you would load the steam, and there's a board in there, and it actually lets you turn the light on, light off, and it lets you fill up the steam liquid. This one here also has a hatch where it allows you to adjust the volume, but it comes with the magic wand, which allows you to turn the sound off and on, and it also allows you to adjust the volume. Taking a look, the side that has the brake wheel is the end where the roof comes off. Here you see all the inside parts of the steam generator car, like the volume, and there is a decoder in there for sound and a speaker, and everything is activated by the wand. Let's go over to the track with them. We'll power it up and we'll be able to see more of the functions in use. Okay, so after adding power to the track, you'll see that there's no movement, no sound, no nothing. I do have a magnetic wand here, and I'm going to wave it over the center at the top. And that's the sound it makes. you wave it again, it makes the sound go away. When I turn the sound on, there's a volume switch just under the removable hatch, and I can actually dim the sound or turn it right down. I think it's better if it's not all the way up and that it's at 50%, but depending on how it sounds when there's a locomotive pulling it, if you want to be able to hear it or not, or you could just turn it off altogether. As for lights, you'll see that there is a rear marker light there that comes on when the power is automatically added to the track. In order to power on this light here, you take your wand and you wave it over the top back section, and that powers it on and powers it off again. Now with the Oh So Steamy, there is an on and off button there, and when you slide it to on, it turns it on, and then adding it to track power, basically you get this loud humming sound. And if we look closely, eventually you'll start to see smoke appear. Personally, both of these cars have certain features that would technically be a lot better if one car had both. For example, if it made the steam, but instead of you hearing the buzzing sound that this one makes, you hear All right, everybody. Well, that was Keeping Track, and I've been your host, Go Via or Go Home. I want to thank Grand Central Scenery and miniprints.ca. All the viewers, like you guys watching today, thank you so much for all the support. And a big thank you to Mark, M&M Rails, for lending me some of his Via Rail collection so I can show that off here for you today. Until next month, I've got a train to catch. Thanks for watching Keeping Track. Coming up next, GVO After Dark.